Well, for me, I think it was the perfect place. I think the movie it resonates because it's about sort of a guy who's sort of afflicted with stress and the ramifications of that through what he goes through. So what better town than New York City? So I think it is the perfect place for it.
We were thrilled that Tribeca picked the movie, and just screening of it last night, and just a lot of kind of smart people that were really into the movie. So I don't know whether this is my first film festival ever, so I don't know if all film festivals are like that or if it's just Tribeca, but the audience, we showed it in front of like 500 people last night, and they were all really into it, and they stayed for the Q&A afterwards, and were really moved by the movie, so we're in a good mood. Well, this is my first time having any kind of producer credit, but that it was a really collaborative movie from the beginning, and Harris knew what he wanted, and but was also open to other people's ideas. So that was one of my favorite parts about the whole movie.
Well, it was autobiographical in nature, so it occurred to me after I had partaken in a very large joint many years ago, and it sort of triggered off what I later found through research and therapists and stuff was this term called depersonalization, which is this sort of feeling of being sort of disconnected from everything. I mean, nobody notices, you're fine, but you feel like you're kind of watching yourself and nothing. It's sort of an unreal dreamlike state. Didn't know what it was, but it's sort of an offshoot of an anxiety. So I went about my business and, still writing studio movies and stuff. And then eventually I decided this would be a cathartic thing to write about this time that happened. And it was a very, very personal situation, and I felt this would be the one to do. And I was very lucky enough to get who I lovingly refer to as my Gregory Peck in this role. No, honestly, I was actually very proud of this guy here. I'm not just saying that. I had gone, because I had written it and sort of lived through it, I didn't feel that much. There were a few moments where I felt a bit, because a lot of the stuff sort of hit home for some of the scenes that were difficult for me to watch. But for me, I was more proud of his performance, which I knew from when I first met him and decided that we would work together on this. It was a feeling of being proud, like having a kid, who's hitting a great baseball or something. So that's what I felt.
Well, I trusted Harris. He had written the script, and I was pretty scared about doing this movie because I saw it was a much more internal job that I had to do than on anything else. So the big thing was that I was coming in kind of making all these big acting choices, and Harris kept telling me to just do less and less and less and less, to the point that for most of the movie, the performance, I feel like I'm doing nothing, and that's sort of what he wanted. And I was nervous about that because I've learned all these tricks and ways to entertain and all that stuff, and I sort of left those behind. So if it didn't work, it's his fault.